Hi, let's take a look at Ghent in Belgium on a trip organised in association with Visit Flanders and Visit Ghent. Our trip to Flanders, that's the northern part of Belgium if you didn't know, features a look at Ghent, Mechelen and Leuven. The ranges on our road trip make it easily accessible with an electric car, or if you want to travel by rail, all three cities can easily be reached from Brussels. In this video, we will focus on the beautiful historic city of Ghent. As I mentioned, this trip was organised in association with Visit Ghent, who provided us with our accommodation and a City Card Gent to aid our visit. The City Card Gent gave us access to Ghent's Castle of Counts, a boat trip, the Belfry, and a discount on the AO experience to see Ghent's Altarpiece. We took in a bit of culture, plus checked out a bit more of the city and stretched our legs a little further afield as well. So why not hang around and take a closer look, along with a few surprises along the way. This wasn't our first visit to Ghent. We were here back in 2006, so we'll call out a few things that have changed over the years too. The first thing you'll notice is the centre of Ghent is pedestrianised and it's a low emission zone. So if, like us, you want to drive to your hotel in the city centre, you'll need to register on the Les Ghent site. It's free and easy, and I'll pop a link in the description for you. One of the things we did in 2006 was a boat trip, so let's do it again. They're reasonably priced and included for free in your City Card Gent. If only our timing was a little better this time round. But a little rain's not going to put us off. There are different trips to take. Our one lasted around 45 minutes and came with a commentary in Dutch and English. Our young guide gave us an interesting and insightful view of Ghent. The view from Ghent's rivers gives you a chance to pick out the stunning architecture and key sites like the old fish market. We'll see more of this, as well as the Korenlei and Graslei sides of Ghent's original harbour, plus much more as we explore the city. Our boat trip explores just a small section of the River Lys and a section of the Lever Canal towards Rabot, part of the city's historic defences. It's only a 10-minute walk from the city centre, or you can jump on a tram number 1, cost covered by your Ghent City card. Another place you may want to check out is the Great St Elizabeth Beguinage for a unique slice of Flemish history. This is a little further out of town, but still easily reachable. We popped in as we were leaving the city. So who or what are the Beguines? Well, they were unmarried or widowed women who gave their lives to God, but did not withdraw from society in the Middle Ages. They set up communities to support other women who had fallen on hard times through no fault of their own and provided a safety net. There were many through Flanders, and a number remain and are recognised as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We'll find some others on our travels. Anyway, let's head back to the city centre and to some lucky folks who have picked the perfect weather for a boat trip. So Ghent is a historic city that attracts plenty of tourists, which is great because there are plenty of places to eat and drink. It also has a large student population, who seemed a pleasant enough bunch, but this means all budgets are covered when you want to eat. And if you're on a budget, you can come and sit by the quayside, either Graslei and Korenlei, and just watch the world float by. Perhaps wave at some tourists too. But the truth is, we're tourists, and we're going to want to buy some Belgian chocolates, maybe try a Belgian beer or two, and Ghent is the perfect place for that. We're standing on the grass brook, that translates as the grass bridge, and in front of us is the old fish market. Opposite the fish market, on our right, is the old meat market. Fortunately, Ghent was relatively undamaged in the wars, so a lot of the original architecture still stands, including the impressive gate in the corner that leads to the old fish market and the city's tourist information office. From here you can look back on the grass brook where we were just a few moments ago. One of the places you should consider a must-see in Ghent is the Gravensteen, or Castle of Counts. You can't really miss it, it's in the centre of town. It's included in your City Card Gent, and the audio guide is a must. Flemish comedian Walter Duprez narrates it, and along with tons of history on the castle, it'll bring a smile to your face. There's a few rooms to explore before you climb to the roof, with its views over the city of Ghent. Anyway, here's my go at the history. The present castle was built in 1180 on the site of an earlier fortress by Philip of Alsace. Part fortress, part status symbol, to ensure the elite of the city knew who's in charge, the Count. You should allow for at least 90 minutes for a tour of the castle. There's plenty to explore. Another Ghent feature are water trams, which are included in the City Card Gent. They run at 90-minute intervals, so check the timetable. From Gravensteen, it's about a 30-minute ride to the museum site stop, where you can discover the city museum and more of the story. Ghent blossomed when St Armand found two abbeys, St Peter's and St Bavo's, in around 650 AD, but it was raided by the Vikings in the 9th century. It was Ghent's cloth trade and its interlinked network of waterways that really started to bring in the wealth. You can discover so much more and come right up to date at the City Museum, or STAM as it's also known. After the City Museum there's SMAC, the city's contemporary art gallery, but we headed to the Museum of Fine Arts. It's about a 10-minute walk from the City Museum and you pass SMAC on the way. We were lucky, on our visit there was a temporary exhibition by the Flemish artist Albert Beguinage. We hadn't heard of him, but we recognised some of his works as he painted in London during World War I. Scenes including Cannon Street Station and St Paul's Cathedral, sites very familiar to Janice and her 27 years in the City of London. But that was only a small selection of the gallery though, and there are a range of works covering many periods. I know I mentioned the water tram, but you can walk here in about the same time, around 30 minutes, or catch the number 1 tram, and with a couple of minutes stroll at the end will take about 20 minutes. Now, not all of Ghent's masterpieces are in museums and galleries. For our next example, we need to head back to St Bavo's Cathedral to catch the Adoration of the Mystic Lamb, also known as the Ghent Altarpiece. To visit the cathedral is free of charge, however to view the Ghent Altarpiece there is a small fee. There is also the option to go for the augmented reality tour, which we did, and we'd highly recommend it. For the AR experience you wear a headset which fits over your glasses perfectly, and a small battery pack. The story is told of the creation of the cathedral and the Ghent Altarpiece. This is blended in front of you so you see the real world overlaid with CGI. For example, you can wander around a virtual model of the construction of the cathedral. Once the story is told, you then head up to see the Van Eyck brothers' masterpiece. It is a stunning piece of work. However, the story of how it came to be back here is worthy of a movie. In fact, it was in one, The Monuments Men, featuring George Clooney and Matt Damon, and that covers its near destruction by the Nazis. Now, before we leave the cathedral, I need to add another fact. It is the birthplace of John of Gaunt. He was the Duke of Lancaster and the third son of King Edward III of England and father of King Henry IV. I bet you didn't know he was born here. Another person you probably didn't know was born in Ghent was Sir Bradley Wiggins, Olympian and Grand Tour cyclist. It also turns out not all of Ghent's artworks are in museums, galleries or churches. Let's head out and take a look at the street art. Ghent has its own graffiti street. Here you'll find some interesting pieces, but also some more basic spray work. Dotted around the city is much more, under the hashtag #SorryNotSorry banner. I'll add a link in the description below so you can find out more. In fact, there'll be links for all the places we've seen and visited. And if you're enjoying this, then give us a like. We'd love it. I have to be honest, we love a bit of street art, and if we had more time, we'd probably sort out some more pieces. This is Ghent's town hall with the belfry in the background, and you're in the heart of the pedestrianised centre of Ghent. This is the new side to the city, one of the changes since our 2006 visit, and generally for the better, but you do need to keep an eye out for the cyclists. They seem to pop out of nowhere. There's another new feature since our last visit, and that's the City Pavilion. Built in 2012, I think it's a bit of a Marmite statement. Either you love it or you hate it, and it appears the locals have given it a nickname, the Sheep Pen. Something for your maybe list? A trip to the top of the belfry? There's a lift from the first floor and it's free with City Card Gent. We're now back at the fish market and we're going to discover another little district, Patrshol. It's an area full of tiny lanes and surprises. One of those facts we picked up on a boat trip was to look out for Ghent's Manakipis, Nesta, and the two recent Measures, Lena and Luna. Patrshol is very much an artisan area of the city. Certainly worth checking out if you have the time. It's in the tiny lanes that you'll find Amadeus, the rib place. It was a bit rustic when we visited in 2006, but we loved it. After leaving Patrshol, we cross the River Lys again. Just over to the left, we catch the big cannon. This is another infamous reminder of a time past. Cast in the 15th century, she goes by the name of Dulgriet. There's different translations, but the one I like is Evil Woman. As we amble along, we come across the impressive Friday market. The statue in the centre is to Jacob van Eldevald, known as the Wise Man, who died on this spot for, among many things, his support of the English during the 100 Years' War. We love Ghent during the day, but how was it in the evening? We found it to be peaceful, relaxing, and a pleasant place to wander around. It seemed quite quiet, but we were here on a Monday and Tuesday. Over to the left was another of those pieces of street art. Once you've had a good look around the city, you may want to take the weight off your feet. And guess what? Ghent's got you covered. There seems to be a bewildering choice of cafes and bars, so where do you start? Well, that's a personal choice, but I tend to look for somewhere where locals may drink, or somewhere that's popular with students, just to make me feel old. Either way, pop yourself at a table and wait for your server. Remember, it's normal to order a tea, coffee, or even a hot chocolate, but after a day exploring the city, mine's a beer. And that typically involves a beer menu. It's possible to find a 5% lager on tap in a 500ml serving, roughly equivalent to a British pint. Look out for a Jupiler, but I'm a when in Rome sort of guy, so I'm on the hunt for a Ghent beer, and that's where a beer menu helps you. You know this, but keep an eye on percentage alcohol and drink it a little bit more like wine. But please experiment, responsibly of course. If you think the beer menu is confusing, well, wait until you decide to eat. Ghent spoils you. I mentioned Patrshol, but the food scene here is crazy. We ate at Pack House, a former warehouse in the heart of the city. A great menu in a fabulous setting. And Beguinage, just a little out of centre, a charming, friendly little place that we loved. And of course, Amadeus, from our 2006 trip. If you're thinking of visiting Ghent, I cannot recommend enough the Visit Ghent site, a really helpful resource for planning your trip. Or you can download the official city guide in PDF format. Links for both are in the description. Now it seems the ideal time to take a boat trip is at dusk, when the city sparkles. So the million-dollar question, are you tempted to visit Ghent, or have you already been? Did you love it? Or are you a Stropendrager, a Noosbearer, the name for a local of Ghent, another bit of history I didn't cover? Either way, I'd love to hear from you. Drop us a comment below, just don't mention my awful pronunciation. And how long should you spend in Ghent? Well, at least 2 nights, and you'll be left wanting more. So I think it's time to bring our video to a close. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to give us a like, we'd appreciate that. And why not subscribe for more of our travels wherever we happen to wander. Finally, remember, stay safe, stay well, and happy travels.